Very glad you could rejoin us here live on a Thursday night, Sheffield Live TV, talking Sheffield. Len Badger is still with us, a legend of Sheffield football, Sheffield United in particular. Blades director Martin Green. Also, James Gregg, whose allegiances are unknown to everybody in this studio and most of our viewers. Totally and utterly
unknown. Yeah, I wish. I think the only thing that contradicts it is perhaps the blue shirt that I'm wearing.
Yeah, I'm glad you did that, because I decided to go red and unashamedly tonight, even though I'm a Chesterfield Aspire out, which brings us on. I'm going to see little clips of the goals, quality goals last night from the home win over Coventry. We're also going to see a millisecond of an embarrassing goal celebration by a manager, so do watch out for that. But in the meantime, talking about my team, we've done you the honour of agreeing to visit Bramall Lane for the final game of the season. We'll also do the honour of probably presenting you with 3 points, knowing the form we're in at the moment. Tell us about, you're going to get more than 20,000 for that one, aren't you?
We are. We've given your fans the lower tier of the Bramall Lane stand, and the upper tier is on sale for Blades fans, and there are only 1,800 tickets left for home fans, 1,800. So that's going to sell out, and that's going to sell out in the next week. So yet again, if you want a ticket for that game, you need to go and get one. So what's the capacity
these days then?
Well, we seem to see more and more of that red netting, don't we, covering the seats more than ever before. The capacity is round the 30, maybe slightly under with that extra netting that we've got this season. So
all grounds seem to have this. It makes you wish the old days, doesn't it, Alan?
Well, in my day, the fans mixed with each other, really. I mean, that's how long ago it is.
Yeah, well, they did, and then it was just following that, mid-70s, that you started to get this hooligan problem.
Yeah. Whole debate of its own, that, isn't it? But it's a shame, when you've got a ground. I remember the League Cup semi-final in Spurs at Bramall Lane. And it was just, there was over 30,000 that night. But you just think, I just wish that there was even more in the ground. More fans able to get a ticket and go and see it live rather than watching it at home on the telly.
It was electric that night. And Bramall Lane's great for keeping that atmosphere in now that the corners have been filled in. It really does get an atmosphere on a big night, doesn't it?
Top-notch ground now.
Absolutely.
The Westfield Health corner, that's got a bit of a following this season. That's been selling out. People are loving that little corner, a different angle to view the game from, change. Yeah. So it's been very popular this season.
Okay, another little different angle to view a game from. Let's just have a look back at the key moments, the goals from last night's game. And Coventry put up really stubborn resistance, I believe. But it took some cracking goals to be there. They are. John Fleck swinging the ball over. Leon Clark, good to see him getting a goal back in the team then.
It was, and he put himself about an awful lot, and that ball in from Fleck sort of epitomised, I think, sort of what he's done all season. That one with the left foot, I think, lent him the break.
Indeed. And here we have Fleck again. Here's Fleck. Look at this quality here.
Past somebody.
Slides the bottom corner. Almost just passes it. What's this? What's the bottom of your screen? What's the bottom of your screen?
There he is. Hey.
There he's about to go flat out on his stomach. Very undignified celebration. But
he got booked for it, Chris, didn't he?
Did he? I don't know. I did not read it. I would have thought so.
He got a bit of a slap on the
he should. He got booked. I was going to think he might get booked to appear in Strictly Come Dancing or something like that.
Personally, I think he's actually now an early contender for Sports Personality of the Year after that. But, brilliant.
You've got to show. He shows that passion, and it's great to see, actually, isn't it? I mean, it's not disrespectful. You get a lot of people saying, it's disrespectful, but I can't see what's disrespectful about celebrating a goal, can you?
Feeling something that you feel inside.
You think about the unique position we're in, where we've got an owner who's born in Sheffield, a Sheffield United fan. We've got a manager who's born in Sheffield, a Sheffield United fan. And we've got a captain. I mean, that's got to be unique in football, an owner, a manager and a captain, all fans.
Talking about Billy Sharp, now Billy, if you're watching tonight, you're in the midst of a crisis, mate. And we know what fixes it for you. Every time, he's been in here twice this season, he's gone on riotous goal sprees.
He's gone on a little run after he's been in here,
And I saw him just about 10 days ago, and he said, mate, I'm going to have to come on your show again. Get started. 5 games without a goal. How disgrace! How
not
terrible!
What terrible! He'll be here.
Come on, Billy. Get yourself in. Maybe next week.
Yeah,
Maybe next week.
It'd be nice, wouldn't it? You should have
Well,
just dragged him in for the. He sets off now. He'll get here. Last 5 minutes, score 2 on Saturday. Get to 200 career goals. That'd be nice.
He would, because you've run out of games now, haven't he? All the targets. He's got 26. He wants to get 2 for 200.
2 for 200.
4 for 30, and 6 would equal his best ever, which was Gunthorpe.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
He's had a great season.
He's had a great season.
Do you know, a lot of people were surprised and raised eyebrows, including me, when I thought, oh, you're making your best player and a striker captain. Is that good? You might have to leave him out sometime, possibly. He's 30, 31. Is that a good decision from Chris? My God, what an inspired one it's turned out.
But I don't think Chris would shy away from, if he had to bring him off, he would. I mean, they've got that relationship. But the whole team's got that relationship with the manager. That you can tell the dressing rooms. Well, far better than it was 18 months ago. Dear me.
Yeah.
I mean, when you were a player, I know it's obviously slightly different now. We always sort of talk about the comparisons on this programme. But was that something that you noticed? If the captain was an inspired choice, perhaps, that'd be. I mean, you played with some great captains.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
well, I think it helps. But we had a good dressing room, and we signed some players, Eddie Clune, Ted Emsley, who've remained round, stayed in Sheffield, and because they felt they became part of like the Sheffield culture, and that's what happens when you get a good dressing room. People tend to stay, and they don't move on. And we had that sort of feel in the dressing room that's probably there today with the boys who are there.
It's come full circle, hasn't it? Yeah, it's nice.
Great to see. And do you feel it's just the start as well, that when a big club gets on a roll like this, the momentum is hard to stop? And I don't think the word consolidation is in Chris Wilder's vocabulary, do you?
Well,
somehow.
Bearing in mind the Championship, it's a big league to be in, because the prize is big. If you get out of the Championship, it is a big prize.
Yeah.
So,
I'm not suggesting for 1 minute it'll go straight through, by the way.
well, it'd be nice.
Yeah, but
there's a lot of planning to do. But if anybody, Chrissy knows, he'll know the players he wants, who can do the business in the Championship. He'll be thinking about it, because.
Yeah, Paul Mitchell was in here a few weeks ago, and we're pretty clear that,
Chiefs,
and at that point, his job really was only to be targeting Championship players, because you knew that if you missed out this time, you've still got most of the team that was going to do it for you next year. Which is anyway. We'll come back to Len, and we'll come back to Martin. Talk about the Kell Brook ticket sales as well.
Absolutely,
for Bramall Lane shortly, but there's plenty else going on.
There is, of course, there is. I mean, we'll start off talking about that massive result last night. Guts, determination, pride, a lot of stake to achieve a season-long goal. And of course, we're only talking about Hallam FC up at Sandygate because they beat Shirebrook Town 2-1 to cement their playoff place in Northern Counties East League Division 1. Well done, they got in the playoffs last season, and they've made it again this year with a few games to spare. And I know that Ryan Hindley will be keen to go one better and get themselves promoted, because they've had a really great, stellar season. They've been in that top 6 all the way through, haven't they? I know you've been down there.
Been down a couple of times, really enjoyed it. I saw a defeat the other week, so I can't go again for a while.
I know
now,
you're banned now. Ban him, make sure you ban him, Ryan, if you are watching.
Always good football. But, fantastic achievement by a manager who probably will have 1 or 2 slightly bigger clubs watching him. And I don't want to wish him to leave Hallam at all, but you'd have thought that he will be.
It's another great mark on his CV.
1 or 2 will be looking.
Absolutely, and I think he's certainly left Hallam in a better place than when he when he came in. Absolutely, and if he can get them up, that'd be a great achievement as well. But of course, talking about last night, I know we've already seen the goals. Great 3 points for the Blades last night. Shame it wasn't the result that sort of got them up and sealed that automatic promotion. But well, there's plenty more games left as well. Wednesday also picked up a nice 3 points back into the playoff spots as well. And Tuesday night, can't forget to mention that. Although I suspect there's probably not that many Owls fans watching.
They will be on the quiet behind sofas and sort of like that.
They won't. They will admit it though.
They will. When we had Carlos Carvalho on the other week, there were Blades fans kind of squinting at the TV like that.
There was.
So there were,
Well, I've given them a mention anyway, so they can't mention. That might pop them up even a little bit more behind.
You just need to say something really controversial, and then we'll find out whether they're watching or not.
Yeah, I don't think we'll put that one for my own safety.
I was watching, unfortunately, because it was a really poor game, and some people were watching on TV at the Rotherham game. But never mind about that. Never mind the quality, feel the width. They got the 3 points. Absolutely vital.
Forest
3
Thierry
points.
back on Saturday as well. You know, from their perspective.
Change the mood. Change the mood.
It's been a good week, and it would have been a great week for all of our Sheffield clubs. I suppose it is really, in a way. Stocksbridge stole the spoils at the Coach and Horses ground in a derby as well the other day. 2-1 they won. So, well, I suppose it was a good week for the Sheffield clubs, apart from Sheffield Club itself.
Although they had a 9-0 win while you were away, the week you were away.
They did.
Well, I had
Stunning.
To, you know,
You announced that news. Yeah.
I announced that news, yeah.
Very good.
9-0.
Very good.
Now you're back, they've lost.
Typical. I'll stay away again. Sheffield FC ladies, they deserve their sort of own section really on this roundup. But they lost their last week away to the London Bees down at the Hive in London. Of course, the home of Barnet FC. They do have to wait until next week before their next game. Sheffield Eagles in Rugby League play against Bradford Bulls away from home on Sunday. Fantastic win, though, last week against the London Broncos, because they've been struggling a lot. Broncos in the top 4, looking like they're going to be sort of pushing for promotion this season. Brilliant win for Mark Aston's men as well. A lot of you will probably be sort of torn between this programme and also watching the Masters Golf this evening. Of course, we've got defending champion Danny Willett and Matthew Fitzpatrick both in action. Matt Fitzpatrick, by the way, a lot of people forget this because of the success of Willett, who finished in the top 10 last year. He finished tied 7th, so he's no mug round Augusta is Matt as well. Sheffield Steelers, got to mention them, playoff semi-final against Belfast on Saturday. Huge game, and they're probably going to have to go through those Cardiff Devils to prevent them from winning the treble if they can. And also, do check out Jonathan Phillips's fight. It's going around, if you just YouTube Jonathan Phillips, Sheffield Steelers fight. It's brilliant. Great fight. A little mild man, isn't he?
He is.
Jono.
He's been in twice.
He has. And
fight.
Great. Gloves
on
off.
ice.
Bang. Yeah.
I've got to watch that. I've got to Google
Great
that.
to watch. If I'd have known, we could have had a
You
clip
should
up
have
tonight.
said that. Everybody's off now watching. What are we doing
No,
now?
send it off.
You've lost him.
Don't do it until 8
Do
o'clock.
it. Do it at 8 o'clock. Yeah, I must have a look at that.
It's very, very good, honestly. I've just watched it outside.
Such a mild-mannered guy and a really nice guy, but inside he's one of these strong, quiet men.
Yeah.
You know,
It's part
tough
of
as
the,
anything.
part of the game, I suppose.
Yeah.
His gloves off, helmet off, bang. It's fantastic.
Absolutely.
Sheffield Sharks lost to Glasgow Rocks to derail their playoff hopes in the BBL. And, of course, the big one, outside favourite sat next to me for this event, Yorkshire Half Marathon on Sunday.
Outside favourite.
Yeah, that's
very.
it.
I'll probably finish 5,345th. I would guess.
There's only 5,346 taking
Hey,
part as
stop!
well.
Hey,
Sorry.
that's classified. It's a bit like Sheffield United season ticket sales. That's classified information. Yeah.
Well, there we go. Good luck if you're taking part, and good luck to you as well, Gav.
Thank you, mate. Yeah, well, and good luck to everybody. Really looking forward to it. But the weather forecast has badly let us down.
Yeah.
Like 22 degrees and wall-to-wall sunshine. It's just when you don't want it.
Yeah, exactly.
But I hope everybody enjoys it. It's a great event, very well supported by the people of Sheffield.
Sure they
so
will.
we really look forward to the Sheffield Half Marathon. Starts 9:30 from the city centre on Sunday morning. You mentioned Sheffield Eagles there, just relaying this because somebody on Twitter, very well-meaning, said, can you ring the council and ask them what on earth is going on with their new, supposedly at the Legacy Park, their new ground, because nothing seems to be happening. I've not had time to follow that up, but I'll mention it here, that the city does not appear to be supporting Sheffield Eagles in the way that it should.
Well, how long ago when they won the Challenge Cup? It's only
99 it was.
99. Yeah. I mean, never kicked on from that really.
No.
And I think Mark Aston has done a fantastic job. I mean,
Must feel like throwing it in at times, really, because of the lack of
well, absolutely.
encouragement and
Yeah,
support. Where do we leave it? I just quickly checked some figures on the Kell Brook, 'cause that's May the 20th, title defence.
27th.
May the 27th, Saturday, May the 27th, Errol Spence. How many tickets?
It's been a long time coming, the Kell fight.
Yeah.
We worked on that a while. I through Red Tooth, my company, I've had some meetings with Barry Earn a few years ago over Red Tooth Darts and something I did with the PDC. We first sat down with Eddie and Frank Smith from Matchroom about a year and a half ago. Kell's family, instrumental in bringing this fight here. His uncle Johnny Brook, I've known 30 years. Big blade, used to bring Kell as a youngster down to Bramall Lane. His dream for Kell to fight at Bramall Lane. Terry as well, his dad, I was with Eddie in London about 1.5 years ago, and he said, we've got to put this fight at Bramall Lane. I'm getting bombarded from the Brook family to make this happen, you know. So we come close last September. We were almost in a deal, and then the Triple G fight came along, and that superseded everything. So it put it on the back burner until this year. So finally we've managed to get Kell down at Bramall Lane. Tickets of doing a bit of name dropping. I was talking to Johnny Nelson at the press conference, and I won't tell you the number he said that he thought we would sell, but it's just been unbelievable. I think the figure at the moment is 21,000 sales.
Wow.
The configuration, the 3 stands and the pitch is a capacity of 25,500.
Yeah.
So the mass on that is 4,500 tickets.
Yeah.
That's all there is left.
Tom, are you a boxing fan, Len, at all? Yeah. I must admit, I like the odd but I'm not an aficionado. I don't know lots about it. Used to.
I was Bomber Graham, a Bomber Graham fan, God bless him.
That was my era too. I used to commentate on some of Bomber's fights. Yeah.
That was the last fight of the lane, Bomber Graham.
Yes, remember that.
And by the way, he was winning his championship fight. With the world title?
Yes.
Can you remember? He was winning it easily.
He was.
And of course, he gave it one of those, and he caught for probably one of the best punches you've seen.
Near enough the only one he ever took in his whole career. Tell us about your fight. Well, I'll put you on the spot here, Len. You've watched near enough every home game this season. What's really stood out for you, player-wise, match-wise? Has there been one thing or two things
I think
that
the pace of the game we've started playing at from the previous season, when we used to take 5 passes before we went forward. And,
I forget who that manager was.
Well, I haven't really. It'll stay with me forever. Really. But I mean, Chrissy put something back into the club. He put a feeling back into the players, and the crowd have responded to it now because it's
Going back to that start, he's never shown more quality than in that first few weeks, when he must have thought in his private moments, hell, what have I got into here? This is my worst nightmare. Bottom of the table. What could he have been thinking?
Well, I remember texting him and saying to him, look, do the things that you know gets you somewhere. Don't, because it's not just happened now. Just believe in what you believe in that got you results at Northampton. And I think he took a little bit of that advice, and they kicked on a little bit after that and not looked back. But I mean, to watch the way we play, it's quick, it's pacey. There's people committing tackles, which is like,
that back three.
I thought he'd gone out of the game tackling 2 seasons ago at our place. But now,
but it's a fine art, even more so than it probably was in your day, tackling, because you've got to be so careful.
Well, you have, because
it's a fine.
And I think to see a good tackler, the crowd love to respond to a good thunderous tackle. And if you take that out of the game, I think that'll be.
As they've responded to the thunderous approach of Jack O'Connell, haven't they?
Well,
you know,
absolutely,
I mean, he's just a hero, isn't he? You know, you wouldn't want to confront him in a dark alley.
A young lad, 22 as well. You know, he's one of those players where got so much ahead of him.
Absolutely, he looks a lot older on the field, doesn't he?
Does,
he just looks about 30.
I don't think you'd tell him that, though, would you? Really?
No, you wouldn't. No, you definitely wouldn't. And it's impossible to find a negative. Even James Hansen's not scored the goals, but I wrote a column this week, Sheffield Telegraph. I felt strategically it was a vital signing to get him in.
Well, give you something different. I mean, if they park the bus, you've always got an outlet that you can fire up there, and he's 80% chance that he's going to win it, and then you can start from where he knocks the ball down. And
I like
it just gives you a different. When you can't play your way through, you can just.
And that takes a bit of pressure off Billy Sharp and others who pop up.
He's been brilliant. Isn't he? First game he played at home, was against Wimbledon, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And he scored, fairly quickly. Got that sort of monkey off his back straight away, didn't he? And
He hasn't
that was
scored
nice.
since.
No,
he hasn't scored, but it doesn't mean he hasn't
but
contributed.
sometimes, and sure we'll all agree, you're watching your team or another team, you think he's not doing anything. Get him out, and he's got to be honest. For him, I've never even thought that. It was only last night I thought, I bet he's not scored. Oh yeah, he hasn't scored since then.
No.
But he's contributing, and every player seems to be, don't they? Which is the main thing.
Not mention the chase. We've not mentioned very much about your company, Red Tooth, which you founded back in '98. I think Martin is a thriving events and gaming company, heavily involved. And Mark Lebet is one of Sheffield United's more famous supporters.
I've told the story many times about how I started Red Tooth. I was my mum and dad live at Tinsley. I was born and bred at Tinsley, grew up at Tinsley. And I started that from my mum and dad's attic, just myself, in 1998. And here we are 18 years on. We employ, there's about 25 people out of the office. Red Tooth Poker is the biggest live poker tournament in Britain. On the quizzing side of things, I think we supply about 4,000 pubs a week with their weekly quizzes. We wrote quiz questions for Tipping Point, a TV show recently. Deal and No Deal mobile phone app. We manage the chasers, as you rightly say, Mark Lebet, Jenny and Sean, and a number of the eggheads. Mark Lebet is an interesting character, the biggest quizzer in the world, literally as well. Chasing.
Every which way.
He's currently on Australian Chase. He's going out in a few weeks to film a new series of programmes for them. The American Chase and, of course, a British Chase. Just won, was it Sing and Dance for Comic Relief with their version of...
Fantastic.
Yeah. He actually called off at my house on the way back from filming in Manchester for that. But Mark lived in Newport for 20 years, and we brought him up here to work for Red Tooth, and he lived here for about 2.5 years, and he was a rugby fan. And he didn't really have any allegiances to any football team. So we started taking him to Bramall Lane, and he's a huge blade.
You force-fed him.
No.
Force-fed him.
He's a huge blade, and you see him tweeting all the time about United. He went to Swindon away this season. He went to Oxford away this season. When he lived here, he went to every single home game, and he promotes Sheffield United. I can remember the Hull City FA Cup semi-final. When he was walking back to the tube station, he was, all the fans were singing his name, and as he was walking back. But he's a massive United fan now, a huge fan, and he promotes the club wherever he is in the world. Yeah. So, top guy. And what you see on TV is what you get in real life. Yeah.
Competitive man as well, isn't he?
Very,
I like that.
He likes his food.
Yeah.
He likes his food.
Does he?
That's a revelation.
Oh, mate, you heard it here first.
Yeah.
He's an exclusive. His contract states he can't lose weight. His contract with ITV states he can't lose weight.
That's not.
keep
You're only half joking there, aren't you?
No,
it
Mark
does
will tell you
actually.
that himself.
His contract actually says
He
that.
can't lose weight. His nickname's the Beast, and he has to stay a certain size. So there you go. There's an exclusive here.
That'll be all over the Sun now. That's got to be.
Exclusive.
Exclusive, yeah, we heard it here first. And we'll see if I can inveigle him into retweeting that when I put this on Twitter later.
He has a little gap when he comes back from Australia, so we'll try and get him on the show, shall we?
Yeah.
Brilliant, yeah.
That would be a little gap. We need quite a big gap.
He needs to do himself.
There won't be two people on that sofa, we'll just have one. Just you there, Mark, all right. Okay, you can blame him. He's talked you into it.
Yes.
James Gregg, Len Badger, Martin Green, thanks very much indeed. Thank you to you for watching. That time has gone. Repeat at 11 o'clock. It's on my YouTube channel. If you missed any of this, it's been cracking talking to you. It's on this evening on there. See you next week. See you. Bye.